Hey guys, welcome. So I am here live with you for today's podcast. This Tuesday's podcast is up and ready to go. So we got a lot to talk about in this podcast. So I'll try to cover as much as I can. 15 minutes goes by pretty quickly. But thanks for joining me live here. For those that can catch it live. And shout out to my replay crew and now my new download crew. I appreciate you guys joining in. So, again, there's a lot to cover. But first, I want to tackle the Samsung Galaxy S8, possibly the official specs. Now, this is interesting. This is very interesting. Samsung has done fantastic with their products. There's no doubt about that. They have great products, period. They make good products, and I like them. I support them. Yes, they're overpriced just like everybody else, but what can we do? We don't want to get on price. But let's talk about these official specs here. Now, these are kind of the unofficial specs, but they are official. So, you kind of take this as a rumor, but these are probably going to be legit. So let's see here. 5.8-inch Super AMOLED Quad HD display. You guys already know about that. 18:9 ratio. Yes, you guys know about that. Snapdragon 835 for the US and 8895 for the global model. So, you get 4 cores at 2.45 gigahertz and 4 cores at 1.9 gigahertz. You get that 12 megapixel camera on the rear and an 8 on the front. And I think that what Samsung is going to do to you guys, and me too, they're just going to release the same camera that they have on the current models, the S7, the one that was on the Note. Those are all the same. The S7, the S7 Edge, and the Note 7 all has the same camera. There was nothing different about it. No matter what they tried to sell us on, it was just the same. It was the same product. It's the same camera. That camera that's going to go in there, I'm pretty sure they'll say we did some new optics and we did something special about it. We made it perform differently. They'll say that they did something, and that's just how it goes. They're supposed to do that to try to get you to like it more. So Samsung has that 12 megapixel camera in there. I don't see anything about waterproofing on here, but I'm pretty sure it's probably going to have some waterproofing. That's just what they do. Now here's the fun part. The battery will probably be 3,000 milliamps. So yes, I'm coming straight at the people who talk bad about the battery on the Ultra, which I don't have a problem with the battery on the Ultra. But the battery on the S8, what if it's going to be 3,000 milliamps? What do you say now? Everybody kind of trashed HTC for the Ultra. For some reason, I don't know, everybody just hated that. They're hating on that device right now. I'm not saying they're a hater. People are just finding reasons not to like that device after not even having it very long. But that device got slammed for putting a 3,000 milliamp hour battery in there. And now some of the leaked information is coming out about the S8. What if, in fact, it does have a 3,000 milliamp hour battery? What do you say now? And we both know, and we all know that the S8 is going to call. Now, we're just talking about the S8 right now. I haven't gotten to the S8 Plus, and I'll try to squeeze that in here too. But we all know that the S8 is going to be the one that a lot of people might go for because they want a small phone. But there are people out there who like a big phone. But the S8 could possibly have just 64 gigs of onboard storage. 3,000 milliamp hour battery, 64 gig storage. Now, that right there alone is the same as the Ultra, and also the 12 megapixel camera and the 16 megapixel camera on the U Ultra are fantastic. Don't believe the hype if you hear someone say that it's not good. But we all know that this S7 and the S7 Edge had some of the best cameras out there. I will have a camera comparison coming for that. So you can see for yourself just how much better the Ultra's camera is than the S7. So if Samsung doesn't do anything spectacular with the S8's camera, you're getting the same camera. And I know they're going to tell you probably that they're going to tell us all that they did something spectacular and tweaked it, but I'm not buying it. So supposedly there's going to be an iris scanner. That's the first I've heard of that, because I've been following this, but I haven't seen anything about an iris scanner. USB Type-C and Android Nougat. So, it'll probably have waterproofing. I don't know for sure, but boy, if it doesn't have waterproofing, I'll be shocked. And if it doesn't, what will everybody say then? Because pretty much everybody is kind of saying that, I'm not coming to the defense of the Ultra. I just think it's kind of strange that everybody is putting out reviews on the G6 and the G6 isn't out yet. And also they slammed the Ultra immediately and they just didn't like it because of the price. They can say whatever they want to say about the reviews. I'm not finished with my review, but the Ultra is, it has a Snapdragon 821. It's got last year's specs. It's not a $700 device. It's a $300 device. All speculators. The people who have it, excuse me, the people who bought the Ultra and reviewed it, it seems like they bought it just to review it and then just hurry up and get rid of it and get the reviews out there, because the G6 isn't even out yet, and there are a ton of reviews out there saying how fantastic it is and it's the device of the year. I don't buy it yet, man. I don't buy it. The G6 isn't out yet. Those are all review units, period. So, and supposedly they're pre-production units. So, I don't know. Let's get on the S8s. This is going to be a beautiful device. 5.8-inch Super AMOLED Quad HD display. Now, what I don't like about this device already is it's going to be curved again. They really haven't learned their lesson. They should bring out, just a regular flat screen device. This curved thing, to me, the curve is actually useless. After I used mine on my S7 Edge for a little bit, I turned it off. It was annoying because I would want to take a screenshot of something and, it was just in the way, the little tab. I couldn't, it is this. And just the fact that I forget that it's even there, I wish they would kind of get away from that. But let's move on to the S8 Plus. Pretty much in line with the specs too. Same processors. The screen ratio is the same. It just has a 6.2-inch display, same cameras, and that is supposedly going to have a 3,500 milliamp hour battery with 128 gig storage. So, if they do that, they're going to charge. So the other day I put up a video, talking about the possible pricing and rumors of the S8 and how it could be possibly $950 and $850. Well, some people said, hey, that's the way it is. It's Sammy. They can do that. And you're right. They can do that. They've made a name for themselves. Their products aren't that spectacular. Now, mind you, I'm pro Sammy. I've been pro Sammy for years. But their products are just not that spectacular to warrant these high price tags. The only thing that this phone has over, and I'm going to compare it to the Ultra because that's the closest competitor as far as new products and the G6. The only thing that those phones have over the Ultra is waterproofing and wireless charging, pretty much. That's the only thing I can think of that's better, because having the Ultra's camera in hand, I'm telling you, I think it's better than the S7's camera. And if Samsung does not update the S8's camera and puts the same camera in there, it's already a 12 megapixel. So we already know that's going to be the same. They're just going to tell you that, like I said before, they might say, well, hey, we did this to enhance it, which to me means absolutely nothing to the average consumer, because they just want to make sure it takes good photos. Now, I'm not saying that the S7 has a bad camera, but every phone can be beat at some point or another. And a lot of people are just saying the U Ultra is a beautiful device. Well, it's much more than that. And, all reviews, even my own, when it comes out, take it how you want to take it. I said in another spot somewhere online that I'll probably be the only person on the internet, maybe me and 2 or 3 other people, who give a real honest review about the device and not rush through it and follow everybody else. That's just me. So, the Samsung Galaxy 8 and the S8 Plus, they're going to hit the market. They're going to sell just because of the name. And some people will be fooled by all the waterproofing and all that stuff. You don't need those things, and you don't need wireless charging. Let's jump over to some new Apple products that snuck out on us. Can you believe this? They just kind of dropped this on us. And here again, Apple's kind of screwing people, if you will. Not in such of a bad way, but it's a good way for new customers. But older customers or customers who just purchased might be a little upset. So first, let's jump to this red limited edition. This is to help fight AIDS and HIV. It's a limited edition iPhone that's coming out, and it's red and white. Primarily red, it's on the back, it's red. It's gonna be for the iPhone 7 and the 7 Plus. And then it's got red on the front, red on the back, but it looks like a silver home button. It would have been nice if they had the red trim around the home button, but that's how it goes. So that'll be available in 128 gig and 256 gig models only. So for the iPhone 7, it's $750 for 128 gig, And then 7 Plus is $870 for 128 gig. And then you add $100 to each one of those and you'll have a 256 gig variant. So jumping to iPhone, they actually upgraded the iPhone SE. They snuck this in there. They upgraded the storage on the iPhone SE. Now, Apple didn't make any kind of special announcements that I know of. I didn't see anything. You just had to go there and find it or search on the web. But now the SE, and you know what? This is good for this is a fantastic purchase. If you ever wanted an iPhone, get the 128 gig iPhone SE because you pretty much are getting an iPhone 6S with a great storage option for $500, a 128 gig model, and now a 32 gig model for $399. All they did was double the storage options on the SE. And I said earlier they might be screwing people over, but that's just because they should have done this the first time. That's what they should have done. They should have done this the first time. 32 gigs is now $399 and 128 gigs is now $499. There's absolutely no reason why the iPhone SE can't sell for $500 at 128 gigs. That camera, we were having a discussion on my Project 13's channel on his live stream about best cameras and phones under $250. Someone brought that up. And in that stream, I said the iPhone SE for the best camera of the phones they were naming. They were naming like the Honor 6X and, Blade V8 and all these other phones that were under $250. But the reason I said the SE at the time, because on Boost Mobile, they now have an SE 64 gig for $229 and the 16 gig is $179. That's a great price. But the only issue is that, it's on Boost. So that might be why Boost is clearing out all their inventory. Their phones have been on sale for, I don't know how long, their iPhones, but Apple kind of snuck this in, man. They snuck this in on us and they upgraded this iPhone SE storage. And there is no option anymore that I can see of for 16 and 64, which is the way it should have started. Kind of crazy, but that 128 gig model, and we have the 64 gig model, and it was $500, so feel kind of screwed. It's paid for already, but I'm not going to trade it in just to get the higher model memory. That's kind of, that's what I mean. Like some customers might feel a little screwed by that. And even though I've had those since launch, but still, it doesn't matter. Do these things first, Apple. And another thing they brought out a new iPad. It starts at $329. Let's just start with that price. They brought out a new iPad and they just made all these announcements and they didn't make announcements that I know of. They just kind of brought these things out is what I want to say. And good job, Apple, on how you're kind of messing customers over still. But, the specs on this one, now this is called the iPad 9.7. It is in no way, I don't think they're trying to compete with the Pro, because this one is a little bit thicker for some reason. It's 7.5 millimeters, but you get the same body size. It weighs a lot more too. It's 469 grams. But you get the same resolution. You get an 8 megapixel camera still. You get the same 1.2 on the front. You're pretty much getting the iPad Air 2. The only thing different is you're getting, I think 64 gigs storage, I believe it is an option now. Oh no, you're getting 2 gigs of RAM. You get the new chipset. That's pretty much all I can see that's different. You get 32 and 128, I'm sorry. Looks like 32 and 128. And, you're getting the new A9 chip. And you're getting 2 gigs of RAM. Wow. So not much difference. And the body is the same. They just... And also, another one that got updated real quick before I end this. Thanks, guys, for coming on. They upgraded the iPad Mini 4 as well. I think they upgraded the storage on this one, too. I'm pretty sure they did. Yeah, 128 gigs is an option now. And it looks like that's always been an option. But I think they did something to it. I think they changed the specs on this one. I have to do some more digging. But nobody's really interested in these anymore. I don't think so. Just 128 gig models for the iPad Mini 4 looks like. And it still has the A8 chip. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here. So the S8 specs, what do you think about that? Will everyone hate on the S8 for that weak 3,000 milliamp hour battery that they put in there? Or will they praise Samsung again because it has waterproof and wireless charging? It's your man, Jay Will. I will see you guys in the next live podcast. smartphoneconversations.com. Be sure to hit it up. Take care.